Welcome to Episode 3 of BitesizeUGC. I'm Captain P.F. Dennis, and with me as usual is Rogue Enterprise. This week we take a bite out of Star Trek Online's Foundry with a review of Mere Mortal Enemies by Pure Big Mad Boatman.
A dialogue-heavy mission that's got a lot going on. But more on that in a minute. Let's take a look at the mission story.
This mission was an aggressive undertaking. Space and ground maps are filled with choice illusions and optional content centering around a colony under siege by Klingons. While it was initially a breath of fresh air, we eventually found the sheer number and complexity of choices and optional objectives was so numerous and difficult to navigate that it could have been spread across 3 separate episodes. For this reason, we gave story 3.5 out of 5 stars.
For map design, it was clear that the author is much more willing to make the player work for the objectives. There is little to no white circle highlighting of mission objectives on the maps, making you use your head a bit more to solve the mission. This is a novel method, but newer players may have a hard time with the mission progression, and with the sheer amount of dialogue and decision making in this mission, adding time to find objectives can get difficult. Otherwise, the map building was solid and earns 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Much progression in this mission is based on unlocking dialogue choices in indirect ways. Some sleight of hand here gives an illusion of optional or branching mission objectives that is quite technically impressive. However, both of us encountered some pretty severe Foundry bugs with the dialogues, one of which halted our progression entirely during a complicated whodunit investigation that left us scratching our heads after drowning in a sea of possible dialogues. While much of this likely isn't the author's fault, these sorts of issues should be checked for when testing the mission. We ended up giving Tech 2.5 out of 5.
While the space and ground battles didn't provide too excessive of a challenge, the real difficulty from this mission comes from trying to accomplish mission objectives by sifting through dialogue options with one of a plethora of NPCs that this mission offers. Our experience culminated in a situation where we could not progress because of what seemed like a Foundry bug, but required a pass-through of dozens of NPCs' dialogues just to be sure. For difficulty, we gave 3 stars out of 5.
And that's our review of Mere Mortal Enemies by Pure Big Mad Boatman. Support STO's Foundry by going and playing it yourselves.
Until next time, this has been BitesizeUGC.